So I'm at Walmart. I'm about to go and make groceries for the week. That's what we do down here. We make groceries. We don't go grocery shopping. I'm gonna take you guys with me and see if we can find any deals. I love to look for meat closeouts. So if we see those yellow stickers, we're gonna check them out. Now, I usually like to go to the Walmarts early in the morning, but hey, it is what it is. So these were marked down. These were prime. This was a ribeye. The other one says New York strip, but I'm not sure about that. This was pretty cool. Bottom round was reduced. And then this carne picada. I'm sure you guys will let me know if I pronounced that right. Okay, so we did find some closeouts. I'm gonna bring them inside and show you everything that I got. So I did grab that pretty ribeye. Watch till the end of the video to see me cook it. All right, like I said, I grabbed those prime pieces of meat. They looked beautiful. I also grabbed 3 packages of the carne picada. It's ground beef. It's just a much coarser chop, so it's great for chilies. I'm gonna use it to make a rôti, which is a Cajun stew. I'm gonna go ahead and dry brine these ribeyes, let them sit in the fridge overnight. And typically, like, I'll let them sit in the fridge overnight. I have let them sit in the fridge. I did a little test. I've let steaks sit in the fridge up to 7 days. I'm not really crazy about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't let them go to waste. I do eat them, but I've been testing it out. I think overnight is my favorite. I have, I'll say maybe 2 days, 3 days max is kind of where I like to be. Dry brining is a technique of just, you put it on a wire rack, you season your steaks, and you just let them sit in the fridge, and the seasonings get into the meat while some of the moisture is being taken out. All right, we're gonna get our sheet pan ready. We're gonna put our wire rack on the sheet pan and bust these steaks out of the package. If your meat has a little discoloration, it's really nothing to be concerned about. If your beef stinks or has a foul odor, then you should be concerned. But this little bit of discoloring is just from the label sitting close to the meat, and the myoglobin in that spot was deprived of oxygen. Now, you can use just salt. I highly recommend Redmond Real Salt. I've been using their products for years, and I highly recommend them. I'll link them in the description. This is my own rub that I make with Redmond Real Salt, or use whatever rub you like. And what we'll do is we'll season both sides of the steak. I like to give it a good generous sprinkle of my rub, and then kind of give it a little pat with my hand, just making sure the seasonings stick to the steak. I did take the steaks off and remove the wire rack and kind of pick up any of those spices that went down onto the sheet pan with the edges of the steak. Now that we've got our steaks all nice and seasoned, we're gonna take them and pop them in the fridge overnight. My plan is to pull one of these out of the fridge tomorrow and have it for lunch. Okay, so it's the next day. The steaks had a nice little nap in the fridge. Now we're gonna take that ribeye out, and I'm gonna let it sit out and kind of come up to room temperature and get that chill off of it. It's been cold and rainy for the last couple of days, so I am gonna cook it on the stove in the cast iron. So let's get cooking. The reason you let the steak sit out on the counter and come up to room temperature a bit is so that it gets that chill off, and you want it to spend the least amount of time in that pan as possible. So you want to get your pan hot. The steak doesn't have to be there as long in order to cook really fast. I do have a couple of pieces of resting garlic compound butter. All right, enough with the talking. Let's get it in that skillet. Oh man, my mouth is watering. I do have a little rendered bacon fat in the skillet, and I let it sit for about 3 minutes before giving it a flip, and I let it go another 3 minutes. I'm gonna use my Maverick thermometer to keep an eye on the internal temperature of this steak. I'm looking for a temperature of about 120 to 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep in mind that it will continue cooking once you take it out of the skillet. I'm gonna set it right on that beautiful resting butter. So you wanna let it rest about 5 to 10 minutes if you can wait that long. Now let's get the steak knife and see how we did. Letting your steak rest properly will help it retain more of its juices. If you cut it too early, all the juices will run out of your steak. So let's take a look. It's a little more done than I would like, but it was still a really delicious meal. But sometimes, you know, you just got to put those utensils down and go in with your bare hands. Now this is a pretty good steak sandwich, right? I was dying to go in for a bite. And another bite, and another bite, and another bite. It's hard to beat a good steak lunch. Dry brining gives it such a good flavor. That compound butter mixed with the juices of the steak, man, it was just so delicious. I'm always on the lookout for a good markdown. I love stretching that grocery budget. If you want to check out more videos, you could look at this one right here, or maybe that one right there. I'll put a thing in the thing. And if you found value, I would really love if you hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.